Palestinian Arabs get center stage, not because their suffering is greater than that of hundreds of millions of people that suffer in war zones, extreme poverty, from persecution, famine, and more, but because their enemy is perceived as being the Jew, and therefore Palestinianism is used as the cover for an ancient, pathological, demonic hatred. It is for this reason that millions of people persecute, slaughter, wage war, terror, atrocities, commit atrocities, genocide, and more against millions of other people, and there is no outcry or rarely any concern if there is no Jew or Israel to blame. Millions upon millions of people have had their land stolen, colonized, occupied, and have been subject to massacres, slavery, even genocide at times. No one uses this as an excuse or justification for the survivors or their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, or for future generations to murder the descendants of those blamed for these crimes, except when it comes to murdering Jews and Israelis. Only when it comes to Jews and Israelis are past or present wrongs, injustices, and grievances, whether real, imagined, or fabricated, are used as the justification for committing murder, sexual abuse, kidnapping, and other atrocities against Jews and Israelis. Jews themselves have had their land stolen, occupied, colonized, and have been subject to murder, massacres, pogroms, genocide, sexual abuse, all kinds of atrocities, including not just in Europe and in the Holocaust, but all over the Middle East, North Africa, parts of Asia, and elsewhere. Prior to the reestablishment of the State of Israel in 1948, there were many pogroms, murders, sexual abuse, and massacres of Jews all over British-controlled Palestine, such as the Hebron Massacre of 1929, and much more. Jews were also slaughtered and massacred all over the Middle East and North Africa. The effort to slaughter Jews living on the land of Israel continues to this day. Jews and their descendants do not use wrongs, grievances, past or present injustices, murders, and massacres committed against them to harm the descendants of those that commit these crimes. Only when it comes to Jews in Israel are murder, sexual abuse, kidnapping, and other atrocities defended and justified based on past or present wrongs, grievances, and claims of injustice, whether real, imagined, or fabricated. Hundreds of millions of people, even billions of non-natives, non-indigenous people live on land stolen, occupied, and colonized by non-native people, including on lands all over North America, South America, Australia, the Middle East, North Africa, other parts of Africa, Asia, New Zealand, and more. Yet from this population of non-indigenous people, many with ancestors that committed grave and horrific crimes against the native people, are many that condemn Israel and justify genocide against the people of Israel for being non-native colonizers and occupiers, while these accusers themselves are the descendants of non-native colonizers, land stealers, and occupiers. Many also dismiss the fact that Jews are indigenous people to the land of Israel because of their hatred for Jews. The Jewish kingdom of Judea was destroyed by the Romans, who changed the name to Palestine to wipe out any Jewish connection to the land. Despite this, there has been a continuous Jewish presence on the land of Israel for thousands of years. Jewish nations and history on the land of Israel dates back thousands of years, all the way to the present times, with a rich archaeological and documented history. Arabs, Turks, and others, not just Europeans, have a long history of conquest, stealing land, occupation, colonization, slavery, massacres, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. Perhaps there is something warped and greatly flawed in the DNA of many people after thousands of years of persecuting Jews for being a minority religion and ethnicity in a world dominated by majority religions that often were, and in many cases still are, extremely intolerant of those that believe differently. Jew hatred comes far too easy for far too many, especially illustrated by the fact that many condone, deflect, deny, defend, justify, or even applaud murder, sexual abuse, kidnapping of even babies and children, and other crimes against humanity as long as they are committed against the Jew or Israeli. There are things in this world that must never be accepted and that are always wrong without exception. This includes murder, sexual abuse, kidnapping, mutilation, and other atrocities. Nothing ever excuses or justifies these wrongs. The evil of murder, sexual abuse, and other atrocities must not ever and are not ever to be excused or justified or defended based on religion, politics, claims about occupation, land, claims about land, the Palestinian cause, or any other cause, or anything else. Grievances, wrongs, claims of injustices, past or present, real or fabricated or imagined, do not ever excuse or justify murder, sexual abuse, and other atrocities.